Welcome to our reading of Iliad, Book 3. We're up to line 92. This is still in the speech of Hector to the Greeks and the Trojans. And so he said that Paris has offered for he himself and Menelaus, dear to Ares, to fight in the middle, alone by themselves, regarding Helen and the other possessions, and Hopoteros, and whichever one might prevail, subjunctive, and might become Creson the better, so it might be the better man. We've seen this expression before, so having taken well all the possessions and the woman, let him lead them. So this is a imperative here, third person singular imperative. So let him lead them oikody home, but the others, but the rest of us, let us. It's a hortatory subjunctive from temno. So let us cut, literally. So let us make faithful oaths and friendship. Josephath, and thus he spoke. And they, accordingly, all of them, and it's another one of these funny expressions here, the arcane may be adverbial originally, and literally to they became silent in silence, or they were silently in silence. So all of the others accordingly held their silence, we could say in English. But Menelaus, good in respect of the war cry. So Menelaus, good at the war cry, met eepe toisi. Also, don't forget the kai there, addressed them. So he also addressed them, and he uses similar expression as we saw up here, keklute mu, keklute kai nun emeo. Again, this is a reduplicated aorist imperative. So here, now also, from me. Malistaga algos hikene thumon emon. For greatly does grief come upon my thumos, upon my soul, my heart. And I think Ade often in later Greek means now, but here in Homer it's often just then or at that time. So I think at that time the Argives and the Trojans, dear Crinthamenai. So this is an infinitive here, to be parted. So I think that they at that time would part, since kakapola pepaste. This is a perfect from pasco, to suffer. Sometimes written with an omicron in here, you get pepos there as well in some editions. So since you lot have suffered many evils, Heneka, on account of my quarrel, so because of my quarrel with Paris, and on account of literally the beginning of Alexander. In other words, on account of Alexander, who began the whole affair. So on account of my quarrel and on account of Alexander, who began it. But Hopotero, for whichever of us death and fate, tetuktai is perfect passive from tuko. So the verb here is tuko, to do or make, here in the sense of perhaps has been contrived, has been prepared, perhaps has been laid down. So for whichever of us death and fate has been laid down, has been prepared. Teth nae, this is a perfect optative. Let him die. Let him die. Aloi de, but the rest of you, because it's second person plural, but the rest of you, takista, very quickly be separated. The rest of you go on your way, go separate as quickly as possible. Oisete an, this is from Ana, this is a lamb, so these are future imperatives here. Oisete. So it's you will, in the command, you will, this is oiso from Pharaoh, so you will bring a lamb, one side white, a male one, and this is a male one which is white, and a female one which is black, and another one black, for Gay, for earth, and for Helios, for the sun. And we, oisomen, again future from Pharaoh, we will bring another one, dii, dative, for Zeus. Axete is another future imperative to lead, so it's a command here, so it's fetch. Biain priamoio, dative here, literally the strength of Priam. You get this sort of action quite a bit in Homer, where instead of referring directly to the person, you refer to their strength or their presence or their face or something. So we would say fetch strong Priam, but it's literally fetch the strength of Priam, so fetch strong Priam. Ophra for Hina. Ophra is like hoppos or Hina, in order that Tamne, he might cut, he might make Orkia oaths, and it's on the next page, it's autos, so that he himself might do that. Since Hoipides, probably his sons, Hupophialoi, which simply means arrogant, and I think the etymology of this is not very secure, it's just translated as arrogant. So since his sons are arrogant, kai apistoi, and untrustworthy, not to be believed. And lest someone, huperbazier, this is an abstract here from huperbino, we often say in English to step over the mark when you do something wrong, and this is the same idea here. So by transgression, so lest someone, by doing the wrong thing, by some transgression, dele sate, might destroy the oaths of Zeus. This is subjunctive here from deleo or deleomai. So lest someone by some transgression might destroy the oaths of Zeus. And we get this gnomic line here. Continually, the minds of younger men, aerethontai, funny use here, it's connected with that verb of airo, raising, but it's here in the sense of being unstable. So, and we're going to understand the verb to be. Sorry, no, we don't. This is it here. Are unstable. Are flighty might be good for this one. So, for continually, the minds of younger men are flighty. They're not down to earth. But for whom the old man met Iesi, this is from present subjunctive from met Amy. Amy is, as in is, so met Amy to be with. So those for whom an old man is present, the old man, he looks at the same time proso, forwards and backwards. In other words, he looks carefully at the situation from all angles. Hoppos, so that genetai it might be. Now, this word here, oka, the och here is from oka, which is an adverb, and it's intensitive, so it might be best by far. It's often translated by far. So that it might be the best by far among amphoteroisi both sides. And that is the end of his speech.